Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Ebel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and join me today for this week's meal prep following Dr. McDougall's Maximum Weight Loss. In last week's meal prep, I did a bunch of 50-50 meals and it made eating so easy and effortless. So I want to try to do the same thing this week. So I'm going to be making 4 different meals, although I did hit a snag with one of the meals and I'm not sure what I'm gonna do about that, but I'll get to that in just a second. In last week's meal prep, I felt like I was a little bit short on my non-starchy vegetables, specifically with my stir fry. So this week, I might have gone a little bit overboard in the other direction. I have a lot of non-starchy veg. So I'm going to do that same stir fry concept like I did last week, but just a little bit different. So I already have the brown rice cooking on the stovetop, and this week I'm going to make it into my pineapple fried rice, and then I'm gonna have the stir fry veggies on the side. I bought these pre-sliced pineapple spears. This was the same price as buying a whole pineapple and slicing it myself, so I figured I was gonna save some time and buy these. So I still need to dice these up into chunks, and then I just saute them in some of its own pineapple juice or veggie broth on the stovetop in a frying pan just till it gets a little bit brown. I think it tastes so good when you cook pineapple that way. So in addition to the pineapple, I'm going to go ahead and mix in the shelled edamame and this bag of mixed frozen vegetables right in with the rice. And then I'm going to count that rice as the starch side. I'm going to make a completely different separate batch of stir fry veg. So for my stir fry veg this week, I have 2 bags of the broccoli coleslaw and 2 diced bell peppers that you can't see, they're at the bottom of the bowl, but I'm just gonna steam this in my Instant Pot and have this as the non-starchy veg to go with the pineapple fried rice. And if I need more non-starchy veg, I also have some plain broccoli crowns that I've already diced up on the side. My second meal is going to be the elbow macaroni salad, just like I did in last week's meal prep. I have 8 cups of chopped vegetables here. We've got cucumber, 3 different colors of bell pepper, and broccoli coleslaw. I'm going to make a dressing for my macaroni salad out of a can of blended cannellini beans. And I want to do something different than last week. Last week I just did like garlic powder and cayenne. I had to add salt and pepper every time I ate it, and I don't know, it was just a little bit boring. I want to try to get a little braver with the seasoning this time. Like that is like my biggest struggle that I'm still learning as I am cooking for myself, is not being too scared of the seasoning. Like I've really never over seasoned anything, so don't know why I'm so scared. Anyways, that's the macaroni salad plan. My third recipe is going to be a batch of my chickpea sandwich filling, which I normally season with Old Bay seasoning, and it's like chickpea of the sea, sort of like a tuna salad replacement, but today I want to season it different. I'm thinking spicy garlic dill. Like I just said, seasoning is like my #1 challenge when it comes to cooking for myself. But today I'm gonna do a double batch of the chickpeas, so I'm gonna use 2 cans of chickpeas and 2 cans of hearts of palm. I have 2 cups of diced celery here. So basically that will be 4 cups of starch with all of the chickpeas, 4 cups of non-starch for the hearts of palm, plus the 2 cups more with the celery. So when I take this mixture and put it in one of those really thin pita pockets, I'll go grab those. These are the whole wheat pita pockets I get at Aldi. So when I eat one of these pitas with the chickpea mixture, I just count that as a 50-50 plate because there's already the extra celery making the chickpea dip a little more non-starchy. Obviously starch with the pita. I usually don't eat a whole pita either. I usually do a half a pita stuffed. And I also have tomato and sprouts to add to my sandwiches, so I just don't stress out about that stuff. I'm calling it 50-50. Look how good these sprouts look. I think I started growing these 6 days ago. So I am definitely having some chickpea of the sea. Oh my gosh, they look so good. Yum. For the final piece of this meal prep, I wanted to do mashed potatoes with mushrooms and asparagus as a meal, But when I went to go get some potatoes to peel this morning, they were the grossest potatoes I've ever encountered in my life. I'll just leave it at that. So potatoes are off the menu because I was not going out to the grocery store this morning. I've been there like the last 3 days. So I'm gonna do my prep with the mushrooms and the asparagus, and then I'll go get potatoes tomorrow or the next day. I don't know. I contemplated just adding the mushrooms and asparagus to the stir fry, but I want to do something different with the mushrooms today. I've used these mushrooms in other meal preps before. They're sliced king oyster mushrooms, and I just have them marinating in some liquid smoke. So I'm gonna kind of shred these up with a fork to make like a barbecue pulled pork type of thing. I'm gonna shred these up, mix them with a little barbecue sauce, and then I'm actually gonna roast it in the oven. I've done mushroom, jackfruit, like that kind of fake barbecue stuff, like in a frying pan on the stovetop, but I saw someone somewhere kind of spread it out on parchment paper and bake it in the oven, and it got like more like caramelized and burnt, kind of. Like, I like that stuff. I like that flavor. So the first thing I'm gonna do is get my stir-fried veggies going in the Instant Pot, and then I'm gonna work on shredding this up so I can get this slow roasting in the oven. Update time! My pineapple is just about done. I need to get some more water in here. See how brown and beautiful that is? It smells so good. So my rice and my stir-fry veggies are done. I need to check those. I added some water to this pan. Now I'm gonna do these 2 frozen vegetables and put a lid on this. So that's probably only gonna need 5 to 7 minutes to cook those frozen veggies. I mentioned the rice was done, but it's still, oh, it's looking a lot better. I'm just gonna let that rice evaporate. It's got a little bit of water in it. And then once I have the rice out of that little pan, I will boil my macaroni. Let's check the Instant Pot stir-fry veg. those are definitely done. I will leave the lid off of this. Last week I mixed together the rice and the stir fry veg, but this week I think I'm gonna keep it separate with the pineapple fried rice, non-starchy veg on the side. So next up I need to mix my cannellini bean dressing for my macaroni salad, and then mix half a can of the garbanzo beans and season that up to make a hummus for the chickpea sandwich filling. And then blend up the hearts of palm with the chickpeas for the filling. And yeah, I'll just need to mix this dressing with the macaroni and veg, mix up the chickpea with the celery, and I'm getting very close to done, I think. A minute ago, I may have said I was doing a half a can of chickpeas for the chickpea dip. That's when I make a half batch. I'm making a full batch today. So I did do a full can of chickpeas to make this seasoning, and then I have my cannellini beans for the macaroni salad. So I decided I'm gonna season these basically exactly the same. Pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, dill, and cayenne. meal prep complete, just in time. I am getting pretty hungry. I'm ready for breakfast. So I'm really happy with how everything turned out, even the barbecued mushrooms that I completely burnt because I forgot to set a timer, and it wasn't until I started smelling the barbecue sauce burning in my oven that I was like, oh my gosh, there's something in the oven. So I tried to rescue as many of the mushrooms I could that weren't totally burnt to the paper, but I like the concept behind this technique. I will definitely try it again and remember to set a timer. So I didn't even end up doing anything with the asparagus. Sometimes I'll break off the woody ends, put them in some fresh water, which I did change out the water in these cups because they've been in there a couple days. I've mentioned that in other meal preps, that if you keep your asparagus in a cup of water, it keeps it so much fresher. The one meal prep, I actually had one asparagus that ended up out of the water, and he was sad looking, we'll say. Anyways, I'm probably going to get some new potatoes sometime this week, and I'll end up having mashed potatoes and asparagus. Maybe with those barbecued mushrooms. Maybe I'll even try to make those again next week. And I'm rambling. So I've got that stuff for one option, and then I have my other 3 meals that are already created into like 50-50 combinations. I have my macaroni salad, which may not be a perfect 50-50 portion. It was about 4 cups cooked macaroni with the 2 cups cannellini beans to make the sauce, and then I had like 8 cups of raw vegetable. So it might not be a perfect 50-50, close enough. And I'm happy with how the cannellini bean dressing turned out. It had a lot more flavor than it did last week, so just need to keep being brave with those spices. So I got 3 containers of the macaroni salad, 1 big container of the chickpea sandwich mix, and again, happy with how I seasoned that garbanzo bean dip. I do like this to taste like dill, but I just kind of realized the last time I ate it that it's like, I don't really want it to taste like seafood. I don't really like seafood, so why am I using that Old Bay seasoning and trying to make this taste like tuna when that's not really the flavor I would prefer? So I thought the dressing to this tasted good, so I'll have a full review after I have it in a sandwich with like some tomato and some sprouts. And then for the stir fry and rice, I have 2 containers of just stir fry vegetables, and I tried to drain these and they still look like they got a lot of water in them. I should probably do less water when I steam them in the Instant Pot. And then I have 2 containers of my pineapple fried rice, and I'll make a 50-50 plate, half pineapple rice, half stir fry veg. So I feel like I've been having a lot of success with maximum weight loss this month by doing my meal preps this way, where I have some meals that are already 50-50 ready to go, and I just don't even need to think about it when I get hungry. I especially love that cold macaroni salad. When I'm hungry and don't feel like taking the time to heat anything up or cook or whatever, you know, having that in the fridge is just an easy, instantly ready meal. It's a good meal too, you know. So as I mentioned a few minutes ago, I'm getting hungry for breakfast. So I'm gonna wrap this video up here, and I'm actually going to start filming a what I eat in a week video, eating this meal prep. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and get some more of those mushrooms marinating today so I can attempt my barbecued mushrooms again in a couple days. So thanks for joining me today for this meal prep following Dr. McDougall's Maximum Weight Loss. Don't forget to subscribe and be well. So I'm going to be making 4 different, so today I'm making 4 different recipes. Oh, is that what I already said? Anyways, that's the mac salad plant. My 3rd recipe will be a batch of my chickpea of the... So basically I'll have 4 cups, right? So when I, and for my 4, and the only thing so I actually think the first thing I'm gonna do, I added some water, oh my gosh, I'm recording. Yeah, this would probably go to no sound when I started doing those spices. I should have said that. whatever. Meal. So then so thank you for joining me today for this meal. So thank you for joining me today.